everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about how I cut sugar for what? 1 whole year. This video is for the person who just wants to cut back on sugar, and it's also for the person who wants to kick all sugars completely. I was a hardcore sugar addict. I'm not playing. Like, you guys heard this before. I used to eat one whole box, the box that you get from Walmart, of donut sticks every single day. One box of those every day, and this went on for years, probably at least 2 or 3 years, and that's how I ended up gaining all that weight to begin with. After breakfast I had to have dessert, after lunch I had to have dessert, and after dinner I had to have dessert, and this went on for years. So I was hooked on sweets. These were the things that I discovered and used that helped me kick sugar like that for a whole year, and I did not struggle with it at all. Let me just kind of tell you about what no sugar meant for me. Now, I know some people who are doing like 0 sugar diets. They're talking about flipping the back of everything that they eat and seeing if it contains even 1 gram of sugar. I stayed away from things that I knew were sweet and sugary. So absolutely no juices, nothing that had added sugar in it, like almond milk. You know, I made sure that I had the absolutely no sugar unsweetened milks and not sweetened by honey, anything like that. Pretty much as I could, I stayed away from anything that I would logically think had sugar in it. I would not have it. And yes, that did include fruit. That's how I practice cutting back on sugar. Tip number 1 is have a weaning period. I contribute majority of my success when it came to kicking sugar as a sugar addict to having a weaning period. I didn't just say, okay, well, I'm eating a whole box of donuts every day. I'm just gonna, hey, tomorrow I'm not eating any more sugar from here on out. It's just like many other addictions. A lot of the time, they don't really teach you to kick habits cold turkey. So what I did was I went from having a whole box of donuts every day to having half a box of donuts for a couple of days, and then I just had 1 donut stick after breakfast and 1 donut stick after dinner. Did that for a few days, and then I cut down to only 1 donut stick after dinner. Everybody just wants to be impatient, right? Everybody just wants, like, right now, right now, right now. But you have to be patient with yourself. Okay? You have to be patient with yourself. I know you might say, like, well, that sounds like 2 weeks of weaning. And it might be 3 weeks of weaning. Honey, you have to allow yourself a period of time where you slowly wean yourself off of those sweets, especially if you gotta get your sweets fixed. It's like you gotta get your fix or you ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just, like, after you eat something, you like, time for something sweet. Once I was ready to stop eating those kinds of treats, but I wasn't quite ready to kick the sugar for good, that's when I went into smoothies. And I stayed on smoothies, you guys, for a while. I probably stayed on smoothies for a couple of months. And I know you're like, for real? Like, I'm trying to kick sugar tomorrow. When you make small changes, you're still gonna reap the benefits of those changes. You don't have to think in terms of extremes all the time. There are different schools of thought around fruit. If you think logically about it, or use bro science as they call it, one could obviously say that eating a piece of fruit, whereas eating something that contains refined sugar, is going to process differently in the body. But some people truly do believe that it doesn't matter. Sugar is sugar, and you should just try your best to stay away from it as much as possible. And so that's kind of the school of thought that I jumped on the wagon of. And that's why eventually I did want to wean myself even from fruits. It was probably like 2 to 3 months. And I was off it. So that leads me to tip number 2, which is stay satiated. My body looked forward to having that. Even when it came to the smoothies, the fruit smoothies, at the end of the day, it was like, okay, I had dinner, now it's time for something sweet. And it was almost like a milkshake. You guys know, if you make those smoothies, when you put all those frozen vegetables and some milk and some powder, them could be like little milkshakes. Let's be real. My body was looking forward to having that treat after dinner. and in the mornings. Once I took those fruit smoothies out completely, I learned at that point, okay, it's time to get satiated. I have to be satiated or I will be sitting there after dinner like I'm missing something, I need something. I used to really say those words, I need something, I need something. We all knew what that meant. I need something sweet. It was almost like that I need something feeling had to be fed. I would use protein, so I would get a little extra protein, be it like, you know, if I make grilled chicken strips, having 3 extra chicken strips or something like that. Whatever I had to do to fill the space that I used to have available for my sweets. After about a week, you get used to it. You start to get used to not having the sweets. Tip number 3 is have a substitute available for your mouth. You might be saying, for my mouth? Like, what does that mean, Laura? So when you are hooked on sugar, of course, we call it a sweet tooth, and that kind of implies that all the joy and everything that's happening is just occurring in our mouths. But actually, when you're hooked on sugar, a lot of it has to do with how sugar affects your body. Some of us call it that sugar high or that sugar rush, you know what I mean? And that's kind of where that addictive piece comes in, right? Is more so what happens in our body. But sometimes you can trick yourself by just satisfying the mouth. For me, it really helped to have substitutes, sweets substitutes. I use like keto cookies. I would use peanut butter, like natural peanut butter, like the chunky natural peanut butter. It has no sugar added to it, just peanuts. If you are not going so far, like if you're not on keto or something like that, you can do oatmeal. Do a bowl of oatmeal with some stevia in it. Oh my gosh, like you will think you just had dessert. You can trick the mind and the body by just pleasing the mouth with sweet tasting foods that are not sweetened with sugar. My last tip number 4 is super important, you guys, okay? Because this is what happens, right? Okay, you might have tried getting off sugar before, and what happened? Oh, what you got? You got some cake? Oh, girl, I would love some cake. Oh, get that away from me. Please get that away from me. And then you're at the grocery store, you're like, I can't look at the candy bars. Oh my God, I can't look at the candy bars. And you're making such a big fuss over not eating sugar and not eating sweets and stuff like that, that you're kind of just constantly reminding yourself of how much you want sweets. You're putting in this time and you're putting forth this effort because you want to stop eating sugar. That's something that you want, right? Don't be glorifying sugar. Stop glorifying sugar, okay? Because when you glorify it in your head, you're telling yourself, I want it. Sugar is, I'm missing out, man. I want sugar and I'm missing out, and sugar is up here and I have to live down here. And like, you're gonna make it so hard on yourself. You're gonna be wondering, why can't I stop craving sugar? Because all you do is think about it and you're glorifying it and you're restricting yourself from something that you really want. And you're making a big deal out of it to yourself, to everybody else. You're speaking those words out loud. Oh, I want some cake, and oh, I wish I could have that. Honey, get that away from me. Oh, I want that. What you got? Oh, I can't have it. I can't have it. You're psyching yourself up. Stop psyching yourself up, okay? So if you make the decision to get off sugar and you're cutting back, maybe you're in the weaning phase, maybe you're out of the weaning phase, maybe you don't eat sugar, and you're at a birthday party, don't make a big deal. I can't have cake. Oh, I don't want any cake. I don't know. You want some cake? No, don't want any. I don't really eat cake, actually. You know what I'm saying? I don't eat cake. Just leave it at that. I don't eat cake. You don't have to say, oh, that looks really good. I really want some, but I'm trying to stop eating sugar. And you're just psyching yourself out. You're playing mind games with yourself, and you're making it harder on yourself to stick to something you said you really wanted, right? What do you want? You want to stop eating sugar? So I don't eat cake. I'm cool. I'm cool. I just told you my story. You know I know how it feels. I know how it feels, right? But I know it made a huge difference when I stopped acting all like, oh, I'm such a victim to the circumstances of me not eating sugar now. You're like, no, I am empowered and I feel powerful in my decision to stop eating sugar, and it's not a big deal. The mind is so powerful, and it's so important to make sure that you speak and think in a way that's going to support your decisions instead of making things harder for you, okay? So that's really it. Those are the 4 tips that I have that helped me stop eating sugar for a year. I hope that they do help you like they helped me. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, okay? Subscribe right now. You guys, have you followed me on Instagram yet? Do you have Instagram? You got Instagram? Do you? Follow me on Instagram. You can type in Laura Annette and I should pop right up. I'm trying to get posting regularly, so come on there, follow me. I love talking to you guys. Y'all be DMing me and I be chatting back and forth with you guys, and I love that. So yes, if you have Instagram, go ahead, hop over and come say hello to me under one of the pictures, or you can send me a DM, all right? Thank you so much for watching, and always remember to take care of yourself. See you next time.